Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So I have to return some library books soon. Well, specifically one. So I wanted to pop on and share with you guys what I have been reading, and I'm doing it cozy style here on the couch because we're having some exceptionally fall feeling weather this weekend and I'm very excited about it. So I actually, over the last few days, finished Colleen Hoover's Verity. This is the book that I was like in line. I was like number 74 in line when I joined the wait list to get this from the local library. And that was a few months ago. I finally got my turn and read it, and now I think there's like 100 people now after me. There's like a ton of books that they go through. It's not like I'm holding up the line, but I definitely want to return it so other people can read it. Anyway, you guys probably know my book style is 100% like romantic comedy. I would definitely prefer to read romance, and not like serious romance by any means. Like if it's like a funny, like, you know, like a rom-com, totally up my alley. So this is very much like a suspense. It's not supernatural in any way, which I was kind of thinking throughout the book it might turn that direction, but it never really did. It's more just like suspense, like thriller type situation. So I'm gonna read the back of the book, kind of like the synopsis for you, and then give you some just like brief comments. If you haven't read it, I feel like you should, even if maybe it's not up your alley to read thriller. But let's just read the back here. Okay, Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, which is the husband, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. A standalone romantic thriller from #1 New York Times bestselling author Colleen Hoover. So, side note, I don't love my books in the past I've read from Colleen Hoover. This one was good. I just don't know that I love the writing style potentially, and maybe it was this book. My friend also recommended another book by Colleen Hoover. I think it's called Ugly Love. So I'm gonna give that one a read before I don't like write anybody off. But some books I've read in the past I haven't actually finished. I've just returned because I just couldn't get into them. So there's a side note. But this book was very much, part of me was like, I saw that coming, and then part of me was like, all the way up until the last page, I was like, WTF just happened? Like, it was very much like cliffhanger, but also predictable, but also like at the end, it was like, wait. And it just leaves you kind of like questioning the whole entire book. Like, I've been thinking over like the last 24 hours now that I finished with it, and I'm like, who do I believe? Like, it just kind of made me feel not untrustworthy, but like skeptical, I guess, of all the characters in the book. So I feel like it's a really, really easy read. It's only like 300 and some pages, like 310 or something. So it went by really, really fast. But it's definitely very like suspenseful. If you are a person who maybe gets like anxiety from books you read, which I typically kind of am, like I really get hyped up in what I'm reading, I felt like I could really separate myself from this book, which I felt was great because I thought it was going to be like super, super suspenseful. But I didn't feel like super attached to the book in a way like it was making me physically anxious, which sometimes books can do, or like movies for sure. So I don't know if that's why part of me was like expecting it to be more like suspenseful at the end or something, but also I was still had, you know, at the end my thoughts were like, wait a minute, what just happened? So it's kind of definitely a book that like plays with your mind, and I think that's kind of like the angle they're trying to go for. I mean, look at the picture, it's like this person, but it's like just a big blob. So that's kind of how I felt like when it was going on, just like, well, who do I believe, what's going on, like what's happening. And that kind of all happens in like the last 30 to 50 pages probably. Like you're like just going from this Lowen's point of view, so like everything she's kind of going through, I'm like, okay, yeah, like obviously this is the truth, blah blah blah. And the last couple of pages I'm just like, was it all a lie? So it's interesting. It's definitely suspenseful, like I said. If you like thrillers, give it a read. It's about, I thought it was going to be more about like writing books and like author type stuff, I guess, because essentially she takes this job to finish the series of writing books, but honestly, like hardly any of it is about writing books. So it's definitely all about like their family situation and the suspense around that. So if you've read this, let me know your thoughts. Like my friend literally told me like on the last, she's like, I got finished the book and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, towards the end I was like, I can totally see what's coming, like it's extremely obvious. And then I read the last page and I was like, the same exact feelings as her. I was like, now I disbelieve the whole entire book that I read. So it's not really up my alley, but I'm glad I read it. It's definitely something like not in my wheelhouse, I guess. So this and the last book I read, Where the Crawdads Sing, were kind of like that. They weren't the same, but they're kind of along the same lines actually. Like up until the end I was just like, no way. You know what I mean? So yeah, a hint of romance in here, but that's not really what it's about. So now that I'm done with Verity, before I get back to my romance books, I need to finish this book that my boss lent me called The Chemist. So it's by Stephenie Meyer. Stephenie Meyer has wrote the Twilight series. I'm on page 54. I haven't picked this up in like 2 months probably, but now I do not have an excuse to not finish it because I'm done with Verity, which is the book I was waiting for from the library to like continue reading this essentially. So yeah, wish me luck. It's a massive book. I'm literally this far through it. So, and this book once again is not up my alley. This is also a suspense. I'm only 54 pages in, so but it's definitely like basically what I've read so far is she used to work for these people, she found out too much info and now they're trying to kill her, and she's like on the run from them, and then they just like called her, they want her back to help work with them. And so she's like, you know, do I do it? Am I gonna get killed? Whatever. But obviously that's only 54 pages in, so there's a lot more that's going to happen here. Hopefully I can finish this like within the month. I know that's so long, but it's been how many months and I've only gotten this far just because it's not romance. So we'll see. I want to get through this, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to get back on my library app and I'm going to request all the romance books, because I feel like it's been such a long time since I've gotten into any romance books. But I just wanted to let you guys know what I have been getting through, especially since I just finished this book, and I'm about to return to the library. So I just wanted to pop on and share. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.